we can.
I'm hoping that somebody will latch onto this idea and find out and make some experiments with it and see what's going on, and maybe they can make one for us.
Well, I think at the present time, those folks out there are not too interested in us getting too far into space. We'd rather stay in our own backyard until we get our act cleaned up.
Yes, we got enough trouble down here.
We don't need to be exporting that.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Bill, it's a couple of years ago, I am the one who had the 20-minute visit from Natalie Wood on the day of her funeral.
Oh, yes, I remember you telling me about that.
Yes, I wrote you a letter about it.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
It was quite fascinating.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Any further visits?
I didn't hear you.
Any further visits?
No more visits after that one.
Well, let's hope all things are well.
Yes, well, you see, the last remark I made to her, she didn't like to hear that at all. And so I don't think she decided she didn't like me.
Oh.
So she left and didn't come back.
All right, Milton, thank you very, very much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you much.
We're 19 minutes away from midnight. At midnight, there will be a break for news, of course, and then Tom Hall will jump into this seat and keep going, and he's going to have quite a character with him tonight, an old friend of mine and probably a friend of yours, too. Gary Franklin will be here. Gary Franklin of Channel 2 fame. He and I used to work together over at KFWB. Gary is really into the movies, and he has a way of calling the shots as he sees them. You may not agree with him, but he certainly says the way he sees them, and he's quite a fellow. So join Gary Franklin along with Tom Hall right after Come Aboard.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Lee. Sorry I tuned in kind of late on this show tonight because it's really a good one.
So am I sorry you did.
I'm a co-worker with Dave Froning, which I heard you mention a couple of times.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, he kind of got me interested in these things. And I've read the investigation report and Volume 2, the picture book, and I'm still looking for Volume 1, which seems to be impossible to find.
Well, if you find it, get ready to depart with some money.
Yeah. I saw it about 2 years ago, and I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting. I'll come back and buy it, and never saw one since. But anyway, my question concerned pretty much the propulsion of these things. It seems that they're kind of reluctant to divulge any specific physics of how they work, except generalities that they do go into higher dimension, which seems to be a timeless, like, void, and they can transverse, kind of go around the back of space, so to say, and get here in very short time. And I wanted to ask Lee if there's been any documentation of what they see in that dimension. They tend to be saying that there's spiritual beings and there's also flesh and blood beings like we are. And I was wondering if when they go into that dimension, if that is the realm of these supposedly spiritual beings. And do you have any comments on that?
Our information is very, very limited in that area, extremely limited.
Could you speak up just a little bit, Lee?
Oh, sure. Our information in that area is extremely limited. Now, Meier did ask questions, but he was told that, they couldn't answer certain questions. And in reviewing the contact notes, you see this all the way through. When it comes to propulsion, they give you a few hints, a few keys, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the manufacture of the metal, we do know that there's 7 processes that the metal goes through. Vogel came close, I think, when he was analyzing the 3 or 4 segments that he got into. But we really don't have all the answers. Now, I don't know if they're giving us subliminal clues, and it's up to us to figure out what it is.
They gave him enough clues about the propulsion system in a very general way, and he wrote about them, as I recall one of Wendell's conversations here, that when physicists at NASA looked at some of those notes, said that this one-armed farmer who was in the 6th grade was talking about things that they see on the drawing board for 100 years from now.
Yeah.
The jump propulsion system and some of the others, which was simply a matter of breaking down the space-time continuum.
Mm-hmm.
We are now able to break down that space-time continuum, by the way.
Have they given any reason for the updating of the ships, like the designs? I was curious, they're talking about going into a higher dimension to travel, and I didn't know if with the updating of the new ships, if they're even using maybe even higher dimensions, because you said they've cut down on the time.
Yeah, they hired some designers from General Motors.
Well, one of the problems now, this new ship surfaced for the first time in 1981, and Billy went out to a forest preserve named Dirtstolen, and there he took like 27 photographs. We taped Billy. Sometime we have a chance, Bill, I'd like to send you some of these transcripts or the tapes themselves. Britt spent a lot of time with Billy on this issue. And out of 27 photographs, that was it. And then they retired the ship. I'm talking about Variation 6 now. They claim that the pollutants in our environment, in our atmosphere, the metal started to break down, and they had to retire it. And they went back to the old standby, the DC-3, as you may, Variation 2. And we only got to see that ship for a very brief period of time.
Is that the one with all of the big balls around it?
Yes, the cylinders, yes.
So it's no longer in service.
Rob Shellman, when he was analyzing this, it was very interesting. We were up in Seattle. He was analyzing. He had never seen photographs of Variation 6. And all of a sudden he started drawing these circles on this plain piece of white paper, and he drew about 7 or 8 of them. He says, to me it sounds like they're generating a magnetic wave. And what he was doing was drawing the cylinders around the ship. And then when we showed him the photograph, that blew him away. And that happened in 1982.
Well, my friend John Bedini has looked at that carefully, and he thinks that those are generating an A field, which generates a time wave, which is, don't ask me to explain that, I just repeat what they tell me.
Yes.
When you say that the travel time is 7 hours, now it's down like 7 minutes, is that the time of the occupants relative to them on the ship, or is it like an instantaneous happening to them?
As Billy explained it, it was this way. It takes them approximately 3.5 minutes to leave. I'm talking about I guess we would call the gravity pull of the Pleiades, and 3.5 minutes to enter through our gravity pull of our system. So in essence, it's instantaneous.
Mm-hmm. Most of the journey.
Yeah,
that's for only Variation 6. The other ships cannot do that.
That fast. Yeah, they have to speed. They have to speed up to a null point, and then they have to slow down from it. But the actual job of getting from here to there, other than the speed up, slow down time, is a total folding of space time.
Mm.
And if you want to know what that's like, just get a piece of paper, and if you want to go from one corner of it to the opposite corner, well, if you traveled linearly, it would take you, say, 500 light years. But fold those two corners together, and you could see you could jump from corner to corner in a microsecond.
Yes.
Well, I would like you to ask your friend Dave about this. I mean, he could answer this question much better than I can.
Yeah, I think it's also speculative, and
oh, sure.
You kind of work under the covers at being at a big engineering firm, because a lot of the people there kind of look at you, you start even mentioning it, and just go,
Well, I've talked to a lot of those aerospace engineers, and there's quite a legion of them that have really a rough organization. And they're putting a lot of facts that have come into each one of those aerospace firms about UFOs together privately, and are really telling quite a story.
Yes. Well, there is quite a bit of research being done on it, contrary to what a lot of people think. Just in the circles that I'm in, I see a lot of it, and it's got to the point where it's more than just mind, like think tank things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very interesting. I'm very excited about getting any new information that comes out, so I'll be looking forward to it.
Have you seen the footage?
No, I haven't. In fact, I got the thing in the flyer yesterday in the mail from Genesis 3 on it.
Wow, I think you'll really enjoy that. There's a lot of not only information in it, because we cover Billy for the first 17 minutes and how he takes his photographs, and we take you to Hassenbowl and show you the site where he took hundreds of photographs, and then we go into the movie footage. Quite interesting tape.
Yes. Well, I'm from an area of the United States, like Midwest, Indiana, where there's a lot of prevalent UFO sightings, and I've seen one or two myself. In fact, it's close to Muncie, where they filmed the beginning part of Close Encounters. And I thought that was very fitting, because there are a lot seen there, so they must have done the research a little bit when they made that movie. But, okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for
Good night.
the call. What is that address